everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John without Jenna for Flipping It Easy. She came home sick. Apparently all the kids, some kids were sick and she got sick, and it's like, well, it's a matter of time before I get sick. So she is not feeling well at all. She was making an effort to try to make it for the live, and it's just not going to happen. So Monday is what we're hoping for. Maybe she'll be doing the live and I'll be not feeling well. So hopefully you guys can hear me just fine and everything's good. I did do a test run before we got started because I absolutely hate having things not go right for the live streams. So guys, how was your holiday? How was your Christmas? Want to know how things were for you? Put your comments down below. Did you get everything that you wanted for Christmas? Or were you left disappointed? Did you have good family, good friends, good food? Want to know how things went for you. Let's see. What I want to talk about today is one that other channels have covered already, but I thought it was important to go over because it is pretty much affecting a lot of sellers. I would say, go on a limb to say maybe even for the everything seller is affected, but maybe 50 to 60% of sellers on the platform are going to be affected by this. Almost forgot. No gum while you're on the live stream. So I want to talk about that, and what I have here, and let me go to the post from eBay, is right here. It says to enhance, this is updates to your pre-loved clothing listings. Now, this is directly from eBay. It says to enhance transparency in our rapidly growing pre-loved fashion category and to help reduce returns for item not as described, we're now launching new pre-owned conditions for clothing categories. Instead of one generic pre-owned item description, sellers will have the option of 3 pre-owned conditions to better describe their item. So instead of saying, okay, this thing is used, and just putting a blanket statement on whatever clothing item that is, you have to now really kind of dig deeper and classify the different conditions within the pre-owned condition. Now, as you can see here, eBay doesn't do anything to define this. So what I thought I'd do, you have pre-owned fair, pre-owned good, and pre-owned excellent. Now, eBay should come out with something to define this. I mean, you'd think that they would. It's like leaving it up to our best judgment, and not everyone is going to say, oh, this is fair or this is good for the same item. So they need to come out with some guidelines so that we're all sort of on the same page. We want to do whatever we can, because if the buyer is thinking, okay, I want to buy this thing, it's good condition, but our good is more fair, then you're creating a situation where the buyer is simply not going to be happy with the sale. Now, what I've decided to do, since eBay won't provide that for us, I went over to Poshmark. Since they really are on top of it, this is their market for the most part. I mean, eBay will get more sales on clothing just because of sheer volume, but their focus is on clothing and shoes and accessories, that kind of thing. So here's what it says. Now we're talking about fair, and I'm going to read from the bottom to the top because that's kind of where eBay is giving it to us. Fair. So that would be very used. That would be sort of what fair is. Now they say, time to let go of an old favorite. Be sure to give it a thorough inspection and let your buyers know of any signs of wear, fading, or discoloration, and additional details that should be noted. Be sure to double, triple check the item. Sometimes it's easy to look over details. So it's something that's really worn, really faded, any discoloration. Maybe there's some small rips in the fabric. Some major wrinkling, just something that would be one of those things where you're kind of borderline, do I even bother listing this, or is it barely passable? That would be something that you would want to consider as very used. And even they don't do a whole lot of giving a really good, in my opinion, on very used. It's still subjective. When we're going to the next one, which is good, they have a good as well. And they say, have a top or pair of shoes that no longer makes it into your OOTD rotation. I don't know what that is. Your pre-loved item could be another Posture's new favorite. Items in excellent condition are generally used with little signs of wear. Just be sure to include any details. That's what they said before. But examples include any pilling, pulls, or loose stitches. So that would be your good used. Now, the last one is excellent, pre-owned excellent. Now, that would be, to me, something that looks really nice, doesn't have a tag. It could almost be described as new without tags, but not quite there. According to Poshmark, we've all been there. Sometimes you wear an item only to find it just doesn't work for you. I wish they wouldn't put these fluffy things. Just tell us what it is. If something has been worn once or twice but has little or no signs of wear, it's like new. Even if you're worn an item just once, it's always a good idea to give it a thorough inspection just in case. So that's where their definition is, and I think we have it's got kind of a blurry line where you have excellent versus new without tags. Now, I know we want to sell our items. I know we want to give them the best, rating that we can to get those items sold. But you got to be honest with yourself when you're, used it 3 or 4 times. That's used, guys. That's maybe in excellent condition, but that's not new. New without tags is just simply that. It is new, has never been worn, doesn't have your perfume on it, and it just doesn't have tags. Maybe you bought a shirt that you removed the tags with every intention on wearing it, and you didn't wear it. So that's kind of subjective still, but use your best judgment because you want to avoid INADs. If a buyer is clicking on good expecting just your average used garment and they got something that's been drugged through the mud and should have been fair, they're going to be mad and they're not going to be happy. It's going to probably lead to a return and probably a negative feedback or a neutral, and you just don't want any of that. It's just a hassle. Now, they go on to say you don't need to do anything yet, but starting on January 23rd, that's about less than a month away, you'll need to use these new conditions and descriptors when updating or listing pre-loved clothing. They say when the new conditions become available, all existing listings under the pre-owned condition will be automatically converted to pre-owned good. So if you do nothing, and I'll kind of give you a brief overview on what to do here, but if you do nothing, they're going to assume that your item is just a general good. Even if it's great or even if it's fair, they're going to kind of give you the middle grading, which is good. So it's going to automatically be converted to pre-owned good, and you'll need to review and update your listings using the new conditions to ensure that you represent your items accurately. Now, if you do nothing, you are opening yourself up to possible INADs if you have very poor condition, or fair condition, that is. Now, real quick, just to tell you what categories. So categories that will receive the new conditions on the 23rd would be women's clothing, men's clothing, kids clothing, unisex kids clothing, baby and toddler, women's vintage clothing, men's vintage clothing, children's vintage clothing, specialty clothing, fancy dress and period costume. I don't know if that's like also Halloween costumes. I'm not sure. Wedding and formal occasion, and world and traditional clothing. So for the most part, if it's clothing of any kind, it's probably in here and you're probably going to have to go through your stuff. Now, they say, we hope this change will improve search visibility, provide better transparency to buyers, and reduce the likelihood of not as described returns. If you'd like to prepare for the change, you can review your listings to see which of the new conditions best fits them. And then it says to visit the seller center to learn more, which is probably a link to something that's not relevant. Now, I don't have a screen for you here. I don't have a screenshot or a cutaway screen that I can show you, but because I don't have a lot of clothes, really. On the other account, I might have 1 or 2 items, maybe a jersey and a couple other things that I'm going to have to go in and do. But you'll have to go in and select all your used clothing. Now, the way I would say to do this, now, you may need to go and just, I don't know how cumbersome this is going to be, but if you're not quite sure, well, look, I listed this a long time ago. I don't know if this used item is considered excellent or fair. What do I do? My recommendation is, and this might take more time for you than others, but it is simply go into your clothing and you're going to take all your used clothing. Hopefully you have them marked and packaged and oh man, if you have these clothing packaged already folded up nicely in poly mailers, like the clear poly bags, that's going to be kind of a hot mess. But my recommendation would be to take all your used clothing, all the items that are listed as used, and go through them and create 3 piles: excellent, good, and poor or fair. And then the items that you have that are excellent, I think you're going to get more money for an item that's excellent than good. So that's your motivation. Go through all of those. You want to go through your items listed, and you'll go in and you select each one of those on eBay. And then you'll go in and you'll go hit edit, drop down, and you'll look for item condition, and you'll select change condition to pre-owned good. Okay. And then you'll hit OK, and then you'll confirm the changes, and then those listings will now be considered pre-owned good. Actually, pre-owned excellent. Now, the pre-owned goods you don't have to do anything with. That middle pile you don't have to do anything with, because eBay is automatically converting those to good. Now, your fair condition, well, you're going to have to do the same thing, and you have a pile of items that are fair. You're going to want to go in and select each one of them in your active listings, and then go to edit, condition, pre-owned, fair, and run those, and that will update your listings. But I think for many people have an inventory system. This is going to be a problem. Now, if you're a clothing seller and have quite a few, are you going to go through the hassle of taking all these clothes, unpacking them if you already have them in the clear mailers, just so you can go through this process? It's a catch-22. Your time is worth something. You're going to take a lot of time to do it to avoid any misunderstandings on the buyer's half, or are you just going to risk it? Are you just going to let everything ride as good? I'm curious what you guys would do here on that. So with that said, I'm sure there's a few other things I'm probably going to talk about, but let's see who's here with us. And I think Jovial was here first, so that's what she's claiming. So let me get to the comments here real quick, if I can. Bear with me, guys. I don't have my co-pilot with me, so it is a daunting task with her not here. She doesn't really say a lot, but she keeps me grounded when she's here with me in the conversation. So Jovial says, who's on first? Susan says, who's on second? So she came in second. I'm very surprised. Usually it's Pitco and Mike, but Pitco is third. And we have Spam being fourth. So that's the results of your race. We have the Superfecta with Jovial, Susan, Pitco, and Spam as your first arrivals. Mike Metco, sounds like an Abbott and Costello routine. How are you all? And Mike just came out with this second video. He did his live today, so congrats on that. So many channels, they finally make a video, and it's getting that second, third, fourth video, building that momentum. That's the hardest thing, and you're doing it, my friend. So keep going. Jovial Juggler, while you're waiting, go check out Mike's second podcast. You guys got here early. Hi, John and Jenna and FA fam. So happy to be with my reselling family today, every day. We're happy to have you here. Glad you're able to make it. Let's see if I can get to actual folks that weren't waiting. But I don't want to skip your comments either. Let's see. And I think Mike has Mary with him on his podcast as a new host. So that's exciting. According to Mike, he says that should be a big asset to the channel. I just came up with the idea for a co-host last week. Sometimes I come up with a good idea. This one was big. And I'm looking forward to more. Let's see what you guys come up with. Keith says, I think it worked out well for you both. It seemed to work together on camera, even though, Mike, you need to let her speak. Yeah, that's a tough thing. When you have a lot to say and you have a co-host, it can be kind of difficult to let others have the camera. But I'm sure Mike will figure that out. But speaking of Keith, again, I want to thank Keith for setting up last week the Discord server for the Flippin' Ain't Easy channel. And he has it all worked out, set up. Again, the link is down below if you're interested. And it's just a way we can continue the conversation when the lives aren't playing. So we do this live on Mondays and Fridays, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And if you just want to reach out and say, hey, I got this issue, or I want to talk about eBay, I want to talk about Poshmark, I want to talk about even sites like Vinted, which the US folks really won't, but you have your UK folks that might want to talk about that. We have that as well. And we have different categories or different channels, I guess you'd call them, where you'd post your comment, and others who I think we have about maybe 50 or 60, maybe the numbers are off, but we have quite a few already for it being set up just a week ago. So again, I want to thank Keith for doing that for us. Let's see. A lot of arguments about who was first. And here's the link, though. And it's also in the chat. So if you're watching us right now, if you're watching the live replay, like I'd say a little bit further down, like an hour after we're done, the chat should pop up as well with this link. And you can click into it and just get signed up. Now, there's a learning curve. If you're not used to Discord, there's no charge. The idea is not to make money off of anybody. It's just to continue and to build the community of resellers. Let's see. Brenda Smith says, hello, everyone. Forgot it was Friday today. Yeah, it is Friday. It just all the days mesh together. Fisher Flips, how early do I need to jump on to be first? I jumped on at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Jovial was already first. That's awesome. It just blows my mind that you guys have so much going on to do. I know you do. You guys are all busy reselling and all the little things you have going on. But you'll not only be here on time, sometimes I'm not even here on time. You guys are here early, and it's just pretty awesome just to see it. And I skipped through a lot of sidebar early conversation because it was just talking about stuff about being here first. But these guys do have a lot to say, and they do show up every week, and it's just amazing to me how you guys just show that kind of dedication. So thank you so much. We have Chicken Nugget Queen says, hi, John and Jenna. That's awesome. Chicken Nugget Queen, and I think this is like some nuggets or something, right? Duncan says, oh dear, not first with added crickets and singing cicadas. I don't know. I don't know how to say that word. You guys know this is not the channel that you will be learning from me how to say words. So Biscuit Butt says, Audi FAE fam, hope you all had a great Christmas. I hung out with someone that resembles this guy, and he came over. We had a full spread of food that I made, and we went over to the Santa Fe Casino, and we proceeded to get waxed by the casino's machines there, and it didn't go great. We had a good time, but it didn't go great. I think we both lost equally a good amount of change, so that's where I'll leave that. Jovial says, hey, FA fam, I'm not calling anyone out, but it's National Fruitcake Day. So why 2 days after Christmas is it Fruitcake Day? Because really, I don't know. I mean, does anybody even buy fruitcakes because they enjoy them? I thought fruitcakes were one of those gifts you give out like at a one of those white elephants where you just give out, you got to spend $20, go buy a cheap fruitcake and just see who argues over it. Keith says, hey, Jenna, how was your trip? Hope you had a great time. She had a great time, but these kids, they bring home whatever from school and then they just share it. So you could say, well, you lucked out, John, for not going, but what's going to happen is she's just going to give it to me. So it's just going to be a delayed effect, more than likely. Shannon Greenlaw, I totally forgot it was FAE Live today. My 10-day sleep week starts soon, so Happy New Year if I don't catch you before then. So Happy New Year to you. So are you really going to sleep through the end of the year and wake up next year? I've never done that. I've never done that. That's amazing. Jackie Bleckner says, hi, I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Well, thank you, Jackie, for being here. And you know what? I've been through now 51 Christmases, and I think my best Christmases are behind me. Not to say that I'm a Grinch at Christmas, but maybe not. Maybe they're ahead of me, and we're going to have, I told Jenna, I said, look, this next year we're going to kind of go all out. We're going to make, it really have a Christmas vibe around here, and we're going to have We're gonna make sure we get the kids here and the grandkids and stuff, and make it a fun and special time. So who knows? Maybe this next year coming up will be the best one. But Duncan says you can do it.
You can do it.
He said can't do it, but you can do it. There's no can't here. Sales to me are okay, only okay. I just ended my campaign. You guys know in the second store I had the promoted listings priority campaign. I used up the remaining funds that eBay was willing to give me, 75% of whatever the ad spend was on that. And we used up the other $60 that I didn't use the beginning of the promotion, like October through November. And guys, I got to report, I probably spent, if they spent 60, that means I spent about 15 to 20. And guess how much in sales that I made because of that campaign? $15. 15. So it's certainly a dud. Last year at this time, we were killing it. We had our best 2-week run in as long as I can remember using the offsite ads. So maybe at some point that's something I'll revisit. But for now, it's just I'm going to keep building my account, building the stores, building the main to maybe 300 to 500, building the secondary to over 1,000 items, and hopefully that'll take me to the next level of money-wise. Joe Samard says, howdy FAE folks. With all the talk about Canada becoming the 51st state, I mailed an item to New Canada, Minnesota today. Yeah, but the thing is, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's too many Canadians that are like hell to the no. I just, they enjoy the free health care. They enjoy the benefits, even though they're highly taxed. The idea that now they have to qualify to get free health care and to have to pay into health care is more than likely a deal breaker for a lot of folks. So I'm sure that's probably a big, big sticking point. Ping G says, happy Friday, John, Jenna, and the chat. Nice to see you, Ping. Pitco saying that sales have been okay today. They picked up. I'm sure they're fine. I've been getting my share of sales. I had a $500-something day yesterday. That's between the two stores. What I see kind of happening is I see that the volume sort of shifting over to my second store. So where I was having $400, $500, $600 days, now I'm having like $200-$300 days with $100, $200 on the other store. I don't know if there's a correlation between, you have two stores, and as you're just ramping up the volume, we're going to kind of keep both stores at somewhat the same level of sales. There's some that'll say, hey, look, that's a tin hat moment, or you got your conspiracy hat on. But I can only report what I see. The volume I'm putting in is pretty much the same. I'm maintaining my main account right around 200 listings, which is where I was at all year last year. I built up my secondary store up to about 300. I'm right at 300 actually. So to me, it should be proportional. I should be close to 400. I'm putting up the same kind of items in my main, so it's not like I'm downgrading what I'm listing. So it should be, I'm just adding to that, but it doesn't seem that way. So I'm just going to keep pushing and keep moving forward. Chastity says, hey, all, happy Friday. Gonna list and listen for a bit. Well, thank you for being here and list away. That's good. That's a good habit to be in. Henri Squaw says, howdy, John, Jen, and chat. It's Friday. I double checked. Yes. And one thing, it is Friday. I can tell you the PPP crew, Scott, Josh, and myself, we have not gotten together to record this weekend's episode of the Profit Playbook podcast. And I'm hopeful, I think we've been talking about it, but we haven't confirmed it yet, that we're going to be able to get together for an end-of-year live on the Profit Playbook podcast. You guys are just going to have to join us live, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. That's tomorrow morning. So many of you guys don't even do yard sales right now, so that can't be your excuse. Make sure you're there and to be a part of the conversation. We got Larry Todd's here with us. Thanks for being here. Gail's with us. Thanks for being here, Gail. Nice to see you. And Henri Squaw says, my days have been so mixed up lately, I really had to double check. This Wednesday Christmas stuff really has thrown a curveball. They gotta. I know it's the 25th, so there's no way you can change the date. But every 6 or 7 years, we have that middle Wednesday and Thursday. Even like every 5, 6 years, 7 years, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think next year is gonna be Thursday. It's gonna be a few years before we can get that holiday back on the weekend where I feel like it should be. Flip It Good says happy Friday. Thanks for being here, Flip It Good. Hopefully there's not an echo. You guys said an echo is going on. Do we have an echo? Is it that bad? If there is, let me know, because I don't want an echo. That can't happen. I'm just trying to make sure that everything looks fine. Yeah, I think everything looks fine. My audio looks good, so there shouldn't be an echo. But if there is, let me know and I will try to fix it. Because I have 2 chats going, so I can kind of see the newer chats to see if you guys can tell me if there's an echo or not. Let's see. Duncan says, "Oh, poor Jenna, not well. Have some KFC for her." Well, don't think we're gonna have KFC. Not sure we're gonna have, but we will be. I'm not cooking today. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. And I don't know if Beard's going live tonight afterwards, so that's just another thing that we're always a part of, and cooking is just not on the cards. Pints and Profits Show. Good evening, all. Love the show as always. Well, thanks for being here. Nice to see you again, and hopefully you guys are not only getting your drink on, but getting your sales on too. Go check out the Pints and Profits podcast. They specialize in talking about the brews and the sales. So go check that out. Duncan, I didn't get anything for Christmas. Well, that sucks. You didn't even get any crickets? I think for sure you would have had some chocolate-covered crickets. Susan Phelps says, "And a delay, it is messing with my mind. It is repeating." I hope my sound is okay. Mary McQuain says, "I hope Jenna feels better." Mary, thank you. And thanks for joining Mike on eBay Island over there on the podcast. Looking forward to you guys building that thing up. I think Roman's in the house, but I'm not sure. Devon's with us, says hello. Thanks for being here, Devon. Paul Rose says, "Hi, John. I hope Jenna feels better soon." I think she will. She's really, really nice. And plus, I think a migraine's kind of kicking in too. So I'm counting on her when the mailman comes to give the Santa bag full of items that we've sold. And we actually had about 12 items sell yesterday. So it was quite a good run. But still, only with 12 items sold, we only made a little over $500. Callie Deb says, "Hello, just tuned in. I see people indicating that Jenna's not feeling well. I hope she feels better soon. The flu is going around." I know. I don't want any part of that. But I guess we'll find out, right? Sometimes, like one time back in, my dad was in the hospital. This is right before the COVID thing was even known to most people. And I'm convinced he had it. She came down sick after we visited him. And she was really sick bad, and she spent 3 days, we were out there for about a week, and she spent 3 days in bed at my son's house, just recouping. So I hope that this is not a COVID thing, because that's just, they call it used to be the last few years, we didn't even have the flu, right? Now it's back as being the flu. It's amazing. Gail says, "This is my day for people asking me for refunds because USPS is running behind." Yeah, that sucks. But, only thing you really can do is just ask them to be patient. And if you really think about it, whose fault is it if they're buying someone a gift on the 17th of December, having you ship it on the 18th, and it ain't there, and now they're mad at you? So do what you can, but unfortunately, some people just can't take accountability. Peter, even with the 3 classifications, still leaves it to the discretion or standard of the buyer. Yes. Now, this is where eBay comes in. If eBay comes in and so the buyer is buying an item and the condition says pre-owned good, there should be like a little question mark they can click, and it'll give them an actual definition of what this is supposed to be. Now, we know buyers don't read, and to expect them to click on any kind of prompt to read what a condition is, it's not happening for a lot of people. I think the more convoluted that eBay makes this thing, instead of just leaving it as pre-owned, the more convoluted that eBay makes it, the more open to interpretation they're making it. So pre-owned is pre-owned. Whether it's full of wrinkles and look, this is just the way it is. The sleeves are thrashed. You know, it's vintage, it's old, it's pre-owned. Well, when you start saying breaking it down more, my fare might be good to some people, and some people's good might be fair to some people. And you're going to run into more misunderstandings the more you break that classification down. So I don't know if eBay is just trying to muddy the waters here a little bit. The problem is, if you sell something that is good condition, where it should have been fair in the buyer's mind, it's just opening you up to an INAD that you wouldn't have had today if you sold it just as pre-owned. I don't know. It's just not good. But I'm not going to complain about it. That's just what we have to deal with. But it certainly doesn't, the business move doesn't make sense for me if you're a clothing seller. Peter, okay, I just read that one, says for an INAD. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Jovi says, oh no, take a couple of tablets of zinc, much less expensive than Zycam. Snuggle up, Jenna girl. Hope you feel better soon. And she was a trooper, though. She got up this morning, she did the shipping, and she's like, look, I'm going to go lay down. I'm seeing an orb in front of me, and it's one of those drones in New Jersey. Maybe they've infiltrated you. Gutted08 says, I picked up an extra Mac Mini that you and Beard were talking about the other day. If you want it, I will sell it at cost plus shipping, which shouldn't be at that much. I live in Oregon. Well, I think one of us is probably going to take you up on that. Can you do me a favor? Send me an email at flippinainteasy2020@gmail.com, and we'll get in touch with you about that. And I really appreciate you looking out. That's awesome. I think it was the M2 that you picked up. Yes, I hope Jenna feels better. Same here. Fisher Flip says, as only clothing seller, I don't like this at all. My excellent, maybe the buyer's good and more of a reason to open a 9ad. Yes, that's the thing. And the thing is, they haven't given us their own definition. I had to go to Poshmark, and that was really not much of a definition. It's more fluff because they know it's subjective. You know, where's the standard? So if a buyer thinks it's fair and you've been selling it just as standard, you know, pre-owned, and it looks good to you, we know that the buyer is always right in eBay's eyes. So is that INAD going to stand? I don't know. You just gotta roll with the punches with eBay. Paul Rose says it may be a slight help, but won't stop people barefaced lying about condition. The only return I had was a t-shirt, new unworn. Buyer said used and faded, added photos with the color dialed down. Yeah. You know, that's going to happen, I think, a lot with vintage. A lot of vintage clothing is faded, right? So that, to me, if the faded vintage article is not ripped or torn, to me, that would be good. Whereas a newer clothing item would probably be fair. You know, it's expected with an older vintage item that you're going to have some fading in the garment, but because eBay is not giving us a breakdown, I mean, we're just using our best judgment. Mike sending Jenna a hug. Thank you for that. Coppercat says, hello everyone, hope Jenna feels much better soon. Wishing all a healthy, happy, prosperous 2025. Well, I am too. Thank you for the well wishes, but I really do think, and we talk about this a lot on the Profit Playbook podcast, I really do think that it's going to get a little sticky before things get better. And that may be middle 2025. And I know there's a lot of people that are just, you know, holding out. Do what you can to make this thing work, because I really do feel that once we get over the hump and things get rolling, that reselling is going to get good again. Paul Rose, I relisted it and got a positive feedback when sold, but had to eat the cost of the original sale on postage each way. That sucks. When you're dealing with large items, that sucks. You know, I had a guy who ordered, and this is a small item. It's just one of these little, this isn't the one, but it's a power adapter. I have a tub full of these power adapters. And on this particular one, I have free returns because it's just a $15. I don't know if I have free shipping on that particular one. I don't think so, but free returns. And he bought it and said, well, the power adapter works, but it doesn't fire up my unit, whatever he's plugging it into, some power supply. And I need one that is, I think he said like 9 volts and 2000 mAh. This is 12 volts and 3000 mAh. I'm like, well, first of all, you need to order the right one. You just don't buy one that looks like the one that you need and think it's going to work, because it could. This one having more power could damage your unit. So he's sending it back, free returns. But the idea that, you know, he didn't really do his homework on buying the right one, I got to pay for it. I've never liked the free returns for that reason. But the good news is, on those listings, eBay will give you a 10% discount off your final value fee. So that is provided your top rated seller. Devon says, I piggyback a listing and forgot the title said new and the wallet was not new. I had bad feedback for that. Yeah, that does stink. And you have to be very, very careful when you're piggybacking off of listings. You know, even if you're using a template that has just a generic thing that's in your item description, you got to make sure you're going in there and changing it, because there's been a couple times I've left just the generic thing there, and it's like, no, that's not good. You know, we count on buyers not reading. Hopefully they didn't see that. Duncan says, every time John mentions INAD, I get one. INAD. No, I don't want to do that to you. That would be cruel. But I do want to see if I can show you guys something here. So I can try to move this over for a second. I tell you guys all the time that I use a tool called...
Someone is at the front door.
Yeah, we know that. So... hopefully, and pardon my dogs, it is the mailman, so hopefully she goes and answers the door for me, because if not, I'm going to have to pause this thing and go do it, because I don't want my mailman to stand out there. Nonetheless, I tell you guys how we use Gemini to formulate our item descriptions. And I found a new tool that I'm very, very intrigued by. It's on the X platform, used to be known as Twitter. And it's a free tool. You just have to go and search for Grok, Grok 2. And what I like about it is, you know, I'm able to go in, and I'll show it to you right here. I'm able to go in. You can ask it anything. You can ask it to make a, you know, a photo of some, create a photo of a pair of shoes with an, I don't know if this will work, logo behind it. I don't know if that'll work or not. But it is amazing what you can just do. I'm not sure if it's, here it comes. Something's happening. What is it going to do? Look at that. Now, I could tell you, look at that. In the past, AI has not done well. Midjourney and all those other sites have not done well when it comes to creating images with words. And that there is quite awesome. Now you can actually upload like a photo maybe of your shoes and have something like that made. I just off the cuff had to do that. Now what I'll do also is create an optimized and bulletized item description for the following item. And we'll go, let's see, I have this Emerald Lagasse French door fryer that maybe I'm selling. I'm going to be listing here this evening. And I'll fire that away, and let's see what happens. Here's an optimized bulletized item description for the Emerald Lagasse French door air fryer. Now, what I'm concerned about, and I was able to, and I'll maybe do another example, is this was actually showing me sources. It had like 25 sites where it was getting the data from eBay, from Home Depot, from all the, like Amazon and all the other sites. And so it's not just winging it. Like, you know, we know AI likes to lie. Well, here this is, it's just coming up with data that it's getting off the internet. And right here, you know, you'd simply have that and say, okay, just copy that. And I don't like to deal with warranty stuff, so I'll just, you know, copy that, and then I'll paste that into the listing, and you're good. You know, of course, proofread it. But I just think it's fascinating dealing with this tool, Grok 2, with X.com is Twitter, formerly known as Twitter. And I got to tell you guys, I'm impressed. And if you're looking for like background photos, maybe you're doing thumbnails for your YouTube videos, I was paying $10 a month for Midjourney, which wasn't even to this level. I couldn't get it to give me anything that had an actual eBay logo. I just think that is amazing. Yeah, it's Grok on X. So you just go x.com, do a search for Grok 2. It's Grok 2. You pull it up and it'll give you this very screen. It's new and free for all users. And I think it's a lot better than Gemini. And I know for a fact it's using live data when putting these item descriptions together. So something that you guys might want to check out there. Josh Galt's with us. Hello, John and chat. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. Hope you did too. I hope all was well and you enjoyed spending time with the family. Samantha says, hey, John. Glad to see you and the FAA viewers. Know Jenna, how she's enjoying her trip with family or friends. Well, she's back, and she had a great time. It was a quick trip, just for 2 days. But she's now dealing with what the kids brought to the party, and that's whatever sickness this is. And hopefully, because usually she'll pass it on to me, so I might be next. Susan says, Tech and Sports put out a video on the breakdown of each category for pre-owned clothes. Was a day ago. I don't watch a lot of videos, though. I'll see the ones that come up in my feed. But the breakdown, he's giving his subjective, from what I understand. Now, I got to watch the video, but I don't believe eBay has an official breakdown of there. Now, maybe there's another page that I wasn't able to find that you guys can share with me. But if there's no official, like, here's what we consider as good, here's what we consider as fair, here's what else should be considered as excellent, well, it's just subjective. And it doesn't matter if Tech and Sports or, let's say Nike themselves comes out and posts something, makes a video saying this is our grading. Or like, for instance, Poshmark. I was reading you what Poshmark thinks. That's subjective. Wasn't really a very good subjective. And you're going to have to use your best judgment. And I would say watching videos of creators who specialize in selling in clothing that will give you their best take on it. Watch a few of those and then formulate your own. And I'm certainly not going to sit up here and pretend like I am the king of grading clothing, because I do the very best that I can, but I'm sure I can improve. My Gerda says, good evening. 5 pounds heavier, bank account fuller, happy, family happy, good Christmas, and I didn't even receive a physical gift. But you know what? It's not really about getting a gift around Christmas time to be happy. I tell people, look, I really don't care what you get me. I say in joke, in jest, no underwear, no socks. But even if that's what you're getting, it's really the thought that counts. It's more about, if we're taking the time to buy something for someone and they really enjoy it. That's where it's at for me. It's, that feeling that you did your job, and I can't account for what people aren't going to buy for me or what they do buy for me. I can't allow that to control how happy or how successful the holiday was. And so if you're happy with the way things went and you didn't receive a single thing, then good on you. You're doing Christmas the right way. Larry Todd says, my used clothing, excellent, but smells like a 69-year-old dude. That would be fair. That would be fair condition as far as I'm concerned. If it smells anything I can imagine, 69, I'm only 18 years away from you. So whatever that smell is, it can't be good. And it can't be excellent. So there's only one grading for that. Brett says, on this new rule, if all your items are new with tag or new without tag, do you think there's nothing needed to do on the listings? There's nothing you need to do on the listings. From the article didn't say that new without tag is going away. So if you have new without tag and it is new, and new means never worn, excellent means worn a couple times and in still really nice shape, no tears, no rips, no fading, nothing like that. Good is like, well, it's been used, but it's still nice quality, looks good. And fair has issues. Okay, that's my take on it. And if you I know, Brett, you deal with new stuff mostly, so this really doesn't affect you. Ghost Picker, this is why I avoid clothes. Everything's too subjective, no matter how you classify. Any complaint from a clothing customer always goes against you. Luckily, have a local buyer I sell all my clothing to. Yeah, it's going to be tougher for you clothing sellers. And already you have people that will buy your item. Beard is famous for this, saying that they really underestimate the size of their butt. They buy those pants and they don't fit. Well, I know in my mind I'm a size 12, but maybe you're not. And guess what? It's the seller's fault. Well, you're going to get more customers like that now. Fisher Flips, I have 2,500 items. No way I'm going through every item and pulling out the clear bags. This is why I source items in excellent or new condition. And look, if you could stand by, like, look, these are great. These are great condition. They're used, but they're really great. Then I think what's happening if you don't do anything, you're going to undersell your item because it's now graded lower than it should be. Now, you could be in the camp of, undersell and overperform, or what is it? Under promise and over deliver. And therefore, it's good, but it's excellent. Pretty much that you're going to avoid a lot of situations. But maybe you're going to lose out in price. Maybe that same used item that you're like, my item is just as good as this guy's, but they have it as excellent. Well, they may get the sale over you just because that condition, and that it's going to default at. So that's something to consider. Jules Y75, another reason why I'm glad I don't sell clothes. Too much trouble listing them and then pleasing buyers. More power to people that love to list them. And I would be in the clothing camp. I have nothing against clothing. I would be in the clothing camp as well, but you have just so much competition. Add competition to that now with them adding 3 extra layers of condition. I'm out. I will sell clothing still as an everything seller, but I'm not at all motivated to niche down for many reasons. But that doesn't help me want to do it. Samantha says, I'm okay with the changes for clothes. Maybe the buyers will be more tight with sales. Are we glad about this? That's a question for everyone. I think that is a question for the true all the sellers that sell clothing only, the niche sellers. Someone like me, it's not that big of a deal. I have maybe a few items on the other store that I have to go in and evaluate, and I'm done. But for the rest of you, like Fisher Flips, you've got 2,500 items. How do you even begin to do it? Is it worth your time? Are you better off just letting it default? But if you have a mixed bag of conditions that all fell within pre-owned, you really need to consider going through it because you could be opening up yourself to an INAD if it really should be a fair condition. Let's see. David Kelber says, good thing my standard is to sell used clothing only in excellent pre-owned condition. Anything that doesn't meet my standard gets donated. Hope everyone had an enjoyable holiday. Yeah, that's probably the best course of action. Really increase your standards so that you're selling in excellent condition, that it's pre-owned. Because, see, again, you're in a competition. So this is a way for you to separate yourself from the competition. If you do have excellent stuff and you list it as excellent, and everyone on the 23rd, if they don't make changes, it's going to be good. That's another level up. It's sort of like going from pre-owned to open box. The pictures look great, but there's just something about that falling under the new-ish category, open box, that gets people feeling like it's maybe a little bit better to go with that one than it is something that is pre-owned. I don't know. I think a lot of things that we do as resellers on the platform with our listings is psychological, and I think if you're asking me to spend $50 on something that is pre-owned good versus pre-owned excellent, it may be that I'm just going to go with the excellent one. Ghost Picker, I'll stick to antiques and collectibles. Customers are particular but not petty. There's a different, and you're right about that. Not all buyers are the same, and I really do believe that some categories have much better buyer pool than your electronics buyers. You got a lot of scammers in there. you don't have a lot of people in, collectibles that are scammers. I mean, you do, but as compared to electronics, it's not even close. Mike says, my family hates me saying common sense, but if you list worn stuff, then you need to describe it and show flaws in photos. Offer free returns, in my opinion, and you'll make way more sales than returns received. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think, guys, for the risk that you run on your account, if you get too many returns, INAD returns, you are going to be paying 6% more than anyone else. It's going to make it even more difficult. If you have too high of returns, they'll give you a pass when they first give you a warning saying, hey, look, you need to work on your returns, bring them down, start more accurately describing your items. But I can see this pushing a lot of sellers down to where they're no longer top rated, and that's going to hurt sellers. And if you offer free returns, I think that alleviates it. I don't know if I would bother even opening a clothing store without having free returns at this point. That's just what I would think. Riddle's Closet says, Merry Christmas to all. Thumbs up. Yes. Hit that like button, guys. Get your sale within the next 24 hours. I have no idea how or why it works that way, but so many people report, I just hit the like button and I got 2 sales. Well, hey, and other channels try to copy that, right? It's kind of a cool mojo to put out there, but we're the first ones. Pitco is also putting that link down there for the Discord. If you guys want to be involved in the Discord, give it a shot. Go click on the link, and there's no cost. We just want to build a community. That's all. If you really are serious about wanting to interact with other resellers, and you don't want to wait till Monday or Friday show, that's a place to go do it. A lot of the folks that are here are there as well. Jules says, it may be common sense, but remember, 99% of buyers don't read nor look at descriptions or pictures past the first picture and first word in the title. That is true, and that is sad. I had a return. I got to tell you, this has been a quarter full of returns. I've had a lot of returns. Had someone who bought an item from me. It's a push bar. It's just one of those exit door push bars. You're going out an emergency exit. You hit the push door. It opens the door. You're out. Well, when I got it, it came with just the push door mechanism. Didn't have the strike bar that goes on the wood part of the frame. And there's a little Allen wrench that you can adjust it. It didn't come with that. And I put clearly, it's for the push bar only. I had it priced like $20 cheaper than I normally would have. And the guy bought it, and he opened a return saying it was missing 2 pieces. But I stated that it's missing 2 pieces in the listing. So guess what? I was on the hook for the return label because I don't offer free returns on items that are like 4 or 5 pounds or more. And, no shipping credit. I'm not getting that, even though eBay does say that we're eligible for false sign ads. I proved, based on his own words, that it was missing 2 items. I only said it only had 1 item, the push bar. And, of course, eBay is not going to do anything with it. So, INADs are plenty, I can tell you that. Homeless Flipper's with us. Hey, John, how are you and the fam? Hope things are well. Good news. Got an apartment for me and the kids. All right. I love that. Moving in on the 31st. So that's the first step. Get situated. Get your situation right, and let's turn this thing around. So I love that. This was the worst Christmas ever, but that's past us now. Christmas is past us now. Now we have to look forward to the beginning of next year. Now, how many of you guys did the homework? How many of you guys thought about what's the one thing that you're going to change next year? And I think that's a different answer for everyone. But for some of us, it's something as simple as, changing the way you do your accounting, which I want to show you something real quick. For others, it's being more accountable within your business. There's a lot of different things. For me, it's a combination of things. I'm going to be more accountable with my time. I think I was talking about that last year. But I'm also really going to be on top of things with my accounting for the entire year, not just for a couple months. It's going to be for the entire year. Now, I have the spreadsheet that the members had access to, or still have access to. And thank you guys for being a member. But it's a cool little thing. Whether you use, you know, a spreadsheet you find online or whether you make your own, simply I have one that allows me to enter all my inventory here. Once it's listed, I can put yes here, and it moves the item. So if I go test, even though it doesn't matter, and I'll just put value trends, that's my store, and then the date, and let's say it's sold for $20. It cost me $2. Condition is used, and then you can put your used good there if you want. Source, let's say liquidation, or you can do a yard sale. Liquidation, I can spell site to list, like if you use a code to like what site, eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, list date 12/27. Oh, guess what? I listed it. Yes. Whoops, it's gone. What happened to it? It's over here on my listed my items listed tab, and then I can go in and say, oh, okay, it's sold. Okay, it's sold, and enter. That's gone. Where did it go? Sold listings. It's way at the top here. Oh, it's at the top. And then I could put the site it's sold on, the sell price, all that, and it'll figure out my margins and stuff for me. It already says that I'm down $2 because I haven't put all the information in. And then I have a deal. This is not the actual spreadsheet that I use. This is the one that I gave some of the members. But yeah, it's very handy, and it'll keep a running tab. So always good to have that information. I hit the wrong button. I apologize. So what else we have here? My Gerda says, Jules, absolutely agree. It's frustrating, but it's still not too crazy. My closed returns averages 3%. My video games is 0. That seems a little low for the video games, but maybe, maybe people get what they're looking for and they don't have to return it. One other thing real quick, if you're interested in obtaining that spreadsheet that I just showed you, you can go into the, right here, that's Mike Meetups, sorry. But do go to Mike Meetups, but you can go to the Discord link. I'm trying to find it again. And go into the Discord link and go and check it out. It's available to you guys there if you want to check it out. I'm not at all responsible for any errors, but it's really a good way to get started in keeping track of some of the things that eBay doesn't tell you, like what's your margin? How many people out there can tell me right now off the top of their head, based on the data they've collected, what your margin is? What is your margin? This will help you do something like that. You can then look and see, wow, on shoes I only make like a 25% margin. Is it worth it for you? Now, eBay is not going to tell you that. eBay is going to tell you what your net is, but it doesn't know how much you bought the item for. It doesn't know all the other intangibles, like how much you paid for the label on Pirate Ship. So it's definitely a good idea to have some kind of spreadsheet in play. DeCalideb says, for some reason I don't have the used condition categories available to me yet. Mine hasn't updated. And that's fine. Just keep checking on it, and at some point between now and the 23rd, you're going to be able to go in and change that. And let's hope that for most people, we have that ability to change it before they launch it. John Appleby, hi John and Jenna. Hope you both had a Merry Christmas. So many changes happening. It's getting mind-bending. It's hard listing. Never mind having to change all the items. Yeah, what do? Do you just roll with it and deal with any INADs? I would say if you're going to go that route, if you're going to roll with whatever you've listed as being defaulted as good pre-owned, offer free returns. Offer free returns, so that way you're not dealing with that situation, because people are just going to select the didn't fit or whatever, and it's not going to. Let's hope. But I think by offering free returns, you're going to avoid a lot of possible INAD situations. Jovial is singing, "'Tis the season to get a germa. Fa la la la, a germ for you. You get a germ and you get a germ. Everyone gets a germ." Yes. And how good is your immune system to stay away from those germs? I need to get some more vitamin D, because that is what has helped us, at least helped me. Mike says, I had Subway yesterday and the worker was wiping his snot on his arm. Germs everywhere for sure. I got to tell you, if I see a worker doing that, I'm walking the hell out. I don't care how far they are through my sandwich. Sorry, I'm out. Just, that's not the way you do it. Jules, yes, Mike, I have no issues with other categories. When I stopped selling clothes, my life was better. I just don't enjoy them either. Measuring, washing, etc. surprised me. Women don't know their measurements. And that's why you have some of these larger sellers who specialize in men's clothing, because men aren't as picky. And men, I can tell, this is just me. Maybe it's the way my body is, but I'm pretty much wearing the same size pants that I wore 5 to 10 years ago. You know. Let's see. Pink says all the clothing items I list are brand new with tags, so I don't have to worry. Thank goodness. You don't have to worry unless you start buying the ones that are pre-owned. Then you gotta think about it. Mike Gertis, I hear you. Women clothes category is much tougher. I mostly stick to men's. He also says I pay my daughter to do all the measurements and photos. I wouldn't have the motivation to do it for sure. There's a lot to do. You know, putting in a lot of good photos takes time and effort. John Doe, I've sold 16 items last 2 days, which is good for a part-timer like me. That's excellent, to be honest with you. Get ready for all the upcoming gift card purchases. Yes. So get your things up, guys. Get your things up. How many people, this is the question I asked Jenna, how many people are selling on eBay an item that they got for Christmas that they're like, this sucks. I don't want this thing. I don't like this thing. I don't want to hurt their feelings and ask for a return receipt or a gift receipt. I'm just going to take it home from the Christmas party and I ain't wearing it, or I ain't using this, and I'm selling it. How many people out there? I want to know if there's anyone out there that has that gift, and what is it? What is that item that you got that you're like, or are you going to save it for the white elephant next year? You know, we call that a rewrap, where you're just going to wrap it for the next party. I don't know. I used to get those all the time at work when we had the gift exchange, like the white elephant, and I got stuck with something that like sucks. Well, you know, I think I got this wine. It's a wine gifts traveling picnic set or something, where you get 2 plastic wine glasses, 2 plastic plates, some plastic silverware, some kind of fancy napkins, and it's in this fold-up case like a basket, and it's like for a surprise picnic. I'm like, love Jenna, but I don't even think she would want to go on a surprise picnic. You know, so what the hell am I going to do with that? Especially with wine. There's no wine in this house, let alone on a picnic. So no, that's one we had to rewrap for the next one. Samantha says, feel better, Jenna. Hope you're able to bring in the new year with John. Yeah, she'll be able to do that. I'll just be the one that's sick, not her by then. Devon, all my son's friends are sick, no flu. Mike says, I just got a return with a new tagged shirt. Said it fits too tight, but for most part, new is much easier to sell. Hopefully they chose doesn't fit. Callie Debs, John, my family members that got sick over the past week tested, and it's not COVID for any of them. Even if it was, I'm not getting tested. I'm just going to ride it out at this point. You know, build up that immune system. You know, just if I get sick, it just makes you stronger if you make it through. Homeless Flipper, gotta go. Going to take my son to Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid. Have a good weekend. See you Monday, and have a good time at Chuck E. Cheese. You know what? This is going to sound very strange. I do like Chuck E. Cheese, and I don't think their food's all that bad. I mean, of course, it could be better, but I enjoy playing the skee ball. But I kind of cheat. I put my foot up on the ledge, and I roll the ball as if I'm bowling, and I roll for the corners, for the high numbered, and if I'm on a roll, I'll just hit the jackpot, and I'll get all kinds of tickets, and I'll give them to my grandkids. We tried to go when they were out here this last time, but Jenna's like, no, I ain't putting up with Chuck E. Cheese. So I don't think she's a fan, but I'm kind of cool with it. Big Dre says, just got off work picking and packing DVDs. I listed another day that sold a few older ones too. There you go. Keep doing that. Swamp Picker, I shipped on the 7th, got it on the 23rd. Okay. And they gave you a negative for getting it there on the 23rd? That's odd. Not Funny says, I welcome the change. I have a bunch of hoodies with small flaws. I will feel more comfortable knowing it's listed as fair condition. But that's extra work you're now going to have to do. You're going to have to pull that down, and if you have them polybagged, it's going to be a pain. And then remembering where you had them and reorganizing everything. It might take time for someone to do that. If you're a larger clothing seller, we already know what Fisher Flips is going to do. They're just going to let it ride. How many of you guys are going to pull your items just so you can make sure that they are going to be categorized in the correct condition? Let's see. Big Dre, as a part-time reseller, I don't have the time to adjust 700 shirt listings. I'll look into it and see if eBay will take down listings that don't comply. It'll be a while before I get to that. I don't think they're going to take anything down. They're just going to assume that that item is in good condition. That could be, you could have been on the cuff of listing that as new, and now it's going to be a good used pre-owned item, and it's better than that. It's excellent, but you have to go in there and make those changes. Otherwise, everything you're selling is going to be defaulted. Susan Phelps, stupid me. I had it open on 2 different tabs. That was my issue with echo and repeat. I'm glad, because I can tell you, like on Beard's channel, this thing echoes. So I've got to turn everything down, and I did not want. I think I have this fine-tuned to where I need it to be. Jovial says, time to utilize those keywords for clothing. Sold one of my more expensive t-shirts that was total grunge, holes, stains, and the works. Be sure to update your template and copy-paste into existing listings. Good advice. Andy Reno, let's make sales great again. I agree. Ghost Picker, damn, the button works, John. Just hit the like, and now I hear a cha-ching. Just sold a Victorian Jewelers lathe, $80 into $4.95. Do I owe you a commission? Yes, you do. You just got to go over to the Discord and sign up and come hang out with us. That's your payment. I really want to build that up. I really, like Mike Mecco, he's doing his channel for the community. All right, it's building community, keeping the word out there that hey, we have this community, and it isn't it may say Flippin' Ain't Easy, but it isn't in no way, shape, or form my Discord. This is anyone's Discord that wants to be involved in the community. Only thing we do say is, look, just don't let that be a launching ground to like advertise channels or try to sell someone something. And I really don't talk about my channel on there. I just try to go on there and help people with their information. Susan Phelps, I shipped an item to Hawaii and it took almost a month. Kept her updated on the progress. She was good. Gave positive feedback. There you go. Buyers do recognize and appreciate good customer service, so good job on that. Mike says, just got my sale. Thank goodness. Sales have been slow. To be honest, I haven't listed a lot since I started the channel, but can always count on FAE for the cha-ching. Hit the like button. Yes, hit that like button. I'd certainly appreciate that. Duncan says, 4 more INADs. Thanks, John. That sucks. Sorry about that. I got to change the condition of your clothing. Shopping with Cheryl says, I can't understand why buyers don't research and then fully read the listing and look at photos, because people don't take the time anymore. They don't. It used to be, look, if I'm going to spend more than $20, this is the way I've always operated. If I'm spending any kind of money, I'm going to make sure, like I'm to the point where I'm looking at reviews, right? I'm like, that looks like a good item, but I want to make sure that, I'm not going to run into problems. And where else can I find problems but in the review section? And then if I say, hey, that problem could be a problem that I encounter, I might reconsider buying that. Maybe that shirt fits too snug. Well, guess what? I ain't trying to fit into a snug. I wear 2X. And if I have a snug 2X, like a Nike 2X, I might not be buying it because, maybe one day I'll be down to XL. Just the cooking's too good here, and I'm still who I am, and I'm not changing that yet. Maybe down the road I will. Let's see. Mr. Sadie, I don't think the change will affect anything one way or another. Problem buyers will continue, and good descriptions is all we can do, so I don't see the change myself. I'm a firm believer in good descriptions, but I really believe that people past the condition and the title and the photos won't consider a whole lot after that. Jules says, I have noticed when I do add videos with high price items, they sell for more money and faster. I just have a generic video. Many of you guys know that I do. I have a generic video that I put in my listings as a way to sort of build brand confidence in what I'm selling. And I really think it adds a little bit of credibility to your store. People, look at your item a little differently. Like, wow, okay. I've had people tell me, I'm buying this from you because you're a reputable seller. Thank you for whatever. I just really do believe that, through your customer service and through even how you present the items, like with the video, it can make a world of difference. That's for sure. Let's see. Jovio says, eBay makes way too much money on clothing. My guess it is eBay's attempt to weed out the consistently below standard sellers and new resellers who aren't concerned about quality listings. And it may very well be that in their eyes, it's too vague of a condition. And what's to separate excellent from fair? There's currently nothing to separate excellent from fair. So maybe that's just a way to give the buyer a more accurate experience when buying items. I don't know, but it doesn't create it doesn't make it easier for you guys. Let me just put it that way. Resolutions, although Amazon does something like this fairly effectively, clothing is super subjective. I'm hoping it doesn't hurt too many people. Yeah, and what's going to happen is it going to raise the threshold for returns in clothing that much higher? I don't know. John Doe, to be fair, size of men's has changed. I bought a pair of jeans online. Both were so tight I couldn't zip them up. So I returned them and went to the store, tried on a pair, and fit perfectly. Yeah. And different, like Levi's, for instance. If I think I'm in 559s. I like wearing the 559s because they give me the room that I need, right? I don't like the crotch grabbers, the 501s. I don't dig those at all. Women don't have to deal with that issue, but certainly you can't. I couldn't buy a pair of pants unless I know like Levi's 559s. I know how they fit. I could probably buy those online, but short of that, if I'm buying any other brand, I have to go and buy them and try them on. Silver Hair is pre-owned marginal. He is. I'm certain. I'm pre-owned. I don't know what I'm probably fair at this point. I might be at the parts of repair only here pretty soon. Jenna says, hi, my FAE family. I'm sorry I'm not with y'all today. I've got a migraine from hell. Hope you had a great Christmas. David says, dog it is. David Dog. Then I got to get like a Snoop Dogg like soundbite, like dog or something like that. Or what was that? Who was that that does the dog catcher from the 80s? I don't know. Someone will put it in the chat. But I'm going to get a soundbite. Jody Wilbur, just got my like sale. First time it's happened during the live. Love it. Well, hit that like button. American Legend, I've missed a lot of those sales, to be honest. Well, I think that we are in control of our destiny on when it comes to reselling. The better and more items you list, the more opportunities and the more places you list them. And with that in mind, just want to give a shout out to TreeCat. They do sponsor the channel, and we do work closely with them to develop a cross-listing program that currently supports eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark. So you can cross-list all your items, and it'll remove your sold listings, so you don't have to worry about those items being double sold. And unlike a lot of all of the other cross-listers, you pay as you go. So if your sales aren't so hot, you ain't stuck with a big bill at the end of the month. You only pay as you go. So check them in the link down below if you want to go check it out. That's TreeCat. Duncan VR, I would not do free returns on a bulky heavy items though, as you'll be out of pocket with shipping cost. That's right. That's why I don't do it. Scott N says, I was on an Instagram chat with Flippin' AKA John Miller and got a sale. He's a good luck charm. Hit the like button. There he is. That's Scott. Yes. So I do chat with him quite often. He is in Vegas, and he keeps me up to speed at some of these places that we both source at. Here's the Discord link if you guys want to go check it out. Duncan VR says, hit the like for free returns and iDads and Golden Lion casino emails. There is no Golden Lion here. That might be the MGM. American Legends is pre-owned, is used, no packaging, and open box is new and open, not sealed or used once to test it. Yeah, and the thing is, the open box doesn't even have to be in the original packaging. That's on eBay's own terms. So they basically say it has to be complete, it has to be in new condition. American Legends is pre-owned, just means used. Yes, but now it's going to be in different conditions. Brent says, Tech and Sports put out that there is going to be a grace period to update listings until mid-April. After the grace period, if you haven't updated your listings, eBay will delist them. And until then, it's going to be at a good, you're going to be pre-owned good condition until then. So look, you got to get in there. Let's say you're in Fisher Flip's boat where you're like, I got 2,500 items. They're all in at least good condition. And while there might be a lot that's excellent in there, I just don't want to deal with all that. It's going to be a nightmare if I have to go through all that. Go in anyway and set all of your clothing items to at least pre-owned good. Don't let eBay do it for you so you take that risk. I didn't read anywhere where it's mid-April. I don't know where he's getting it from. But if there's even a 1% chance that eBay is going to do that, because they already said they're going to default at good pre-owned. To you, that should be like, okay, I'm good. I don't have to do anything. But the last thing that you want to do is wake up one morning in April and find that those items that you just let ride aren't anywhere to be found. That would be a nightmare, more of a nightmare. So once this occurs, check your listings, go in and do a bulk edit, make sure they're at least pre-owned good if you're just going to let it ride out. Susan says, if you don't change your descriptions, those selling in excellent new with tags or new without tags, maybe a few that are on top of search. Well, it's more of the condition itself. If you have excellent and it's now good, you're like, wow, this is really very close to being new. I mean, someone who gets it might think it's new, but it's not. Well, I think you're now down with all the other good pre-owned, and you can't get as much value. I really do think, and I don't know what the markup is, maybe it's an extra 5-10% over and above what a good pre-owned would be to list it as excellent pre-owned, but I really do believe you're going to have a better chance of separating yourself from the competition. Jovial says, there are millions of poor quality clothing listings on eBay and the item itself. Bottom of the dumpster bins pile, not washed and looks stinky poo. And limiting those listings alone will improve eBay's reputation. Yeah, it might be part of the reason why they're doing it. And there's a lot of people, I'm not knocking it, I've done it before, but I've seen it myself where people go to the bins, Goodwill bins, and they will buy some tattered, nasty crap. And they'll bring it home to list. And because it says Nike on it, or because it has a brand name on it, they're going to list it anyway. More power to you, I guess, but just be mindful. You need to make sure that those items are fair. Big Dre, I'm going to change how I store DVDs and vacuums. Having a hard time selling my orders right now. Yeah, I really do believe that some items are going to be selling hotter than others this time of year. That's it from my experience. And I think I'm trying my best not to skip comments, but I do think that the way this chat works for me, it just kind of jumps on me. So I apologize if I've skipped anybody's comments on this. Jenna says, all the little girls were coughing and snotty, so I knew something was coming home with me. And guess who gets it? I get it. That's lovely. John Doe, my goals for next year, double my daily listings, fix all old listing errors, and keep my quality control standards high. That's a good one. Jenna goes on to say, yes, sadly, my granddaughters and nieces bring everything home. So with all the loving I gave them, I was bound to get something. Yep. I'd stay the heck away. They'd be inside. I probably would have been outside. I'm like, I'm not catching anything. Big Dre says, Cha-ching just sold a graphic tee for $43.20 plus shipping. It's always nice to make a sale when I'm picking orders in the storage unit. Yes. Love to hear that. A lot of side talk, so I'll skip that. Susan says, getting a CPA, post more listings, more customer service. There you go. Try to improve somewhere. Think of what was my pain point last year and where did I do really well. Double down on the things you did well and try to avoid the things that didn't go so well for you. And that could be just what you're selling. A lot of people get mad at me for saying that, but if you have a spreadsheet and it's telling you, look, your margins are only like 20%, whereas all the other stuff you're making between 30 and 50, why would you keep buying the stuff that's not making you a whole lot? Maybe the volume, I get it. You flip them. And that's another thing I want to add to my spreadsheet. I kind of tweak it as I go. Maybe add when I listed it, right? I have that, but when did it sell? So both. So I can then see, you can then go in and take a cluster, like a sort from like clothing. Take a cluster and then onto another spreadsheet and then put a, do a formula where it tells you the average amount of time that it took to sell all the hats that you had last year, for instance. Skipping if I can. Ghost Picker says, Jenna, ivermectin, seriously. Well, she's not there yet. I don't think she's at that point. She took Zicam, and just the migraine is bringing me down. So Zicam has always historically worked for us, where you can take it every 4 hours and just keep doing that, and it'll take a lot of the symptoms away. Junk Trader says, I'm doing that. My son got me a gardening toolkit. I kill things. My kids are lucky they survived. I will not use it. LOL. Sell it. Sell it. Someone will buy it from you, and they will not know that you sold it unless they're constantly at your house looking at your stuff. Brenda Smith says, I'm listing a Gucci shopping bag that a purse came in. Sell it. People will buy it. Jody Wilbur, my husband was gifted a multi-tea gift bag, probably. Weird flavors I'll never drink. Plan on selling if I can. If not, I'll keep for regift next year. 2017 expiration. Yeah. Chastity, well, I was expecting a Keurig. I had to plan to part out my current coffee maker. Santa apparently didn't get my letter. Well, that stinks. You're stuck with your old coffee maker. But you can get a good deal right now on some. I think I just listed the mini Keurig, the black one, and I think I only listed it for like $40. So you can still get a good deal on them. Jenna hates Chuck E. Cheese. The germs riddled in that place from all those disgusting kids give me the EBGBs. But yeah, I think they still are kind of cool. Maybe it's because I've had good memories as a kid growing up. Junk Trader Nissa, it's so true. He knows I can't grow things. What was he thinking? LOL. Maybe wanted you to diversify and start growing things. Change that. Brent says, I'm more concerned about the various cross-listing services. Get their software updated in time for the launch, 213. I would hope. Now, the launch of the conditions, because I do know that TreeCat's working on the changes with the good, fair, excellent. Not sure what 213 represents though, because the changes of these changes go into effect on the 23rd. Brenda Smith says the Gucci purse was not mine. Santa brought me a pruning saw. Ooh, I was kind of laugh. One of my customers bought a vacuum cleaner for his wife for Christmas. I'm thinking that's cringe. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's me, but you're buying an item for your wife. That's not on the top of her list of what she wants, but you're buying her a vacuum cleaner, and what message does that send? Like, get to work, you don't clean enough? I don't know. I would kind of take offense to that. TikTok, Happy New Year all. Thanks for being here, TikTok. Nice to see you. Jackie's with us. Received an offer for $15 on a $22 item. She went to accept it, and the iPhone said they would pay $450. Looked on my laptop, it was correct at $15. I don't think a buyer would have been too happy. Well, even if it did, you could have given a refund of the difference. Samantha says, Happy New Year to all FA viewers. Hope 2025 is not going to be too bad. Be safe and enjoy your family and friends. That's probably the biggest takeaway. Enjoy the family and friends. I mean, you only have one family. I guess you can continue to make friends, but as far as the family side, you really need to, make sure that you don't disregard them. We're not getting any younger, guys. I'm not getting any younger. And I know that, while I missed Christmas this year out there, The goal is to really plan towards a really fun Christmas, and I want the darn tree put up. If I have to go put up that tree up myself at the end of October this next year, I'm going to do it. Susan says, it does not take a gift for me to list. I've been going through my husband's closet and telling him, you don't wear this. I'm posting it, did my own, and list 6 today from the 80s and 90s. And you can say those are vintage in your title. Make sure you're doing that. The Quirky Picker, Chad, says, I sold an expensive digital camera to a person in Korea. Then they opened the box. There was a big scratch on it. If I didn't do it and the buyer didn't do it, then who did? Global shipping program? Well, yes. So you ship it to eBay through their through the EIS, the International Shipping Program. They take ownership of it. Now, I don't know if they take it out of your box. Make sure it's in there. Make sure that you're not sending a brick to begin with. And then they put it back in the box, repackage it, and ship it. I don't have any idea how that process works. I do know that when the buyer gets it and they have an issue with it, they're the ones that's supposed to have the resolution. And I wouldn't worry about it. Let them know they need to contact eBay on that. Let's see. Samantha says, John, my question is, what about vintage linens? Is there any guidelines with this category? None in that category. It's just clothing right now. But don't give eBay any ideas. Beard says, better late than ever, right? Yes. Nice to see you. And I was wondering out loud if you're going to do your live tonight, just so everyone can know. At some point, I want to set this thing up to where we can then port over the audience. So you guys don't have to do anything, and we just push over the traffic. I don't know how to set that up, but at some point, we're going to do that. Let's see. I see camel toe talk. I don't want to talk about that. That's kind of alarming. Brent says they go into effect for Australia in January, but the rest of the world is February 13th, 2025. And this chat skipped way down, so the context of that. So I apologize once again for this snafu of mine. Let's see. Again, here's a Discord link if you guys want to check it out on your spare time. Go check it out and sign up. Doesn't cost a thing, just your time. Ghost Picker says, wait till you start seeing paid eBay sellers. You promote 5%, eBay auto promotes 1% higher. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Susan says, I don't need to pull them. I have photos and remember most of what I list. I'll open if I need to. I only have 78 listed at the moment. So yeah, you're not in that camp where you have hundreds, if not thousands of clothing items and you're like, okay, now what? Susan says, young and older people today don't have the patience to read the description. You're 100% right on that. Devon, gently used is what I put, but not new if there is no tag. If it is in great condition, if it's not new and there is no tag, it could still be any one of those conditions, those pre-owned conditions. Let's say it looks great, but it has a tear in the arm or something, or a blem or a snag. You'd want to put that as fair. Otherwise, eBay's just going to default it as good. Duncan's eating more KFC burgers and pizzas. Awesome. KFC must love you. Let's see. Brent says goals: break 90,000 in sales, optimizing a listing system, become a top seller on Depop, get better organized in back office, and start YouTube channel. There you go. Looks like it might be ordered in priority there, which is good. I'd say if you're just starting YouTube, of course you want to make sure you're focused on it, but don't let it detract from your sales, because that's happened a lot to me throughout the years. Just trying to, I want to be consistent on the platform, right? And it's really not about money that drives me. Don't make a whole lot on YouTube. It's more about a goal that I've set for myself to get to that. I want that play button behind me, and I'm just going to keep doing this thing until I get it. One day when maybe I'm 90, I'll get it. Old flipping ain't easy. Susan Phelps says, one reason why I put measurements on my clothing, never had a return. There you go. Samantha Hunter, headaches are the worst. I feel for you, Jenna. I suffer with bad migraines. I need to go into a dark room for at least 30 minutes. Yes. I've had some migraines, but nowhere near what she has. Meg, Lilac Seller. Hey, all. Merry days after Christmas. Yes. TikTok says high doses of vitamin C. 2,000 with each meal should be better in a day or two. John Doe says, I store my DVDs in bookcases that don't have backing so I can see from both sides. I can store 550 DVDs comfortably in each. I bought 4 of them for $100 total. And right now, guys, something that many of you guys may not be thinking about, but we still have some time, a few more days to invest in your business. So these are things that can be written off in tax year 2024. I'm still contemplating getting that other paper tape machine for the garage. We have one in the shipping room, but I'm constantly building boxes outside, and I don't want to have to keep coming in. And you come in, I know I need like 8 pieces of this paper tape. I'll grab 2 long pieces. No, I'm gonna have to come in about another 3 or 4 times just to get more. It's probably, I'm talking myself into it at this point, but something that you might need. Think about something that's going to help you in 2025 and invest in it. It's an investment in your business. Chastity says, wow, I made a sale on Bonanza Christmas Eve, but just got notified something happened. Oh, you just got notified that you got the sale. I got to go look because I haven't been notified of anything, and I haven't made a sale on Bonanza since May. And speaking real quick of investing in your business, if you're still printing on a regular printer, guys, what are you waiting for? If you're really doing this part-time, you're selling just a few items a week or more, look into getting a thermal printer that you don't have to change the ink on every 3-4 months. Jadens, there's a link down below. They've got great deals on printers. Not only do you have to hook those, you can hook them in directly to your computer, but you can have it set up as a Bluetooth and set it up with your phone. Beard did a video about that last week when his internet was out. He was still able to run his labels through his phone with his data plan. So just something to think about. Let's see. Beard, Joni's buys the presents. I don't know where she bought herself, but what she bought herself, but I got socks. That sucks, Scott, that you're making her buy her own gift. At least I kind of knew what Jenna wanted, but I went and bought it. And being that her memory's not great, she was surprised. So that worked out. Samantha says, I'm nervous. I'm waiting for a package to arrive in Puerto Rico. I may consider removing this location. No issue as of yet, but it's nerve-ending. Don't lose sleep over it. It's the part of the business. You know, you're going to have some packages that take a while to show up, and do everything you can to be proactive. And maybe if you're watching it and monitoring it and it's bothering you, reach out to your buyer, let them know, hey, I just want you to know I'm keeping an eye on your package. It looks like it's delayed. Please continue to be patient. It'll be there. You know, that goes a long way. Genesis, ship it and forget it unless you're notified by eBay or the buyer that there's a problem. Don't stress over what you can't control. I agree with that. Golf Exchange, last 2 packages from Florida to Puerto Rico via USPS Ground Advantage took 13 and 12 days respectively. Could have gotten it there faster in a rowboat. It's amazing somehow. And you know, if you were to go back and look at the path that package is taken, it probably went through California by the time it was sent to Puerto Rico. A lot of side talk here. Andre Squaw says KFC has chicken sandwiches here. They have them everywhere. Again, here's the Discord link if you guys want it. Chastity says, yeah, and it's a $215 Gemmy inflatable. Duncan VR, I don't know how I hand wrote buyer address for years. Nowadays, I have a thermal. It makes a big difference. Yes, that was something we all had to do. And yeah, I think I remember back in the day, though, we did have labels that we can print, but it wasn't on a thermal printer. Chastity says, that one sale is more than I made total on Bonanza to date. And I just kind of cringe when I hear Bonanza because I just have this gut feeling that I've made a sale, but I'm going to look anyway right now while I have you guys here. I'm at the end of the chat, so might as well just check. And my selling dashboard, I really feel like I've been blackballed on Bonanza. I think I'm shadow banned, whatever you want to call it, because there ain't no activity and there's no sale. So guys, I want to thank you for being the best part of this program. I guarantee you that's the truth. You guys are awesome, and you guys really make this a fun thing. Because, you know, for many that'll do a live, Mike just did his first live. It's tough, and it can be unsettling when you're in front of the camera and talking to a bunch of people. But the way I look at it is I'm talking to a bunch of friends. The only difference is we're not in the same room. So I want to thank you guys for being here, and thank you if you've become a member, have been gifted a member, or thought enough about just going to the free Discord and hanging out, because it's part of the community that I've always wanted to build, and I think with the help of people like Keith and Mike and others, we're making that happen. So thank you for that. As far as the changes, guys, 2025 is going to be loaded with a lot of changes. This clothing change is just yet another change. And I think some need to take it seriously. If you have quite a few clothing, you're going to have to figure it out or just ride with it. But weigh the pros and cons and figure out what's best for you. But figuring out what's best for you is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent weekend. We will see you on the last 2024 show on Monday. Whether I'm sick or not, I'll be here. So you can count on that. And until then, have a great rest of your day. Take care.
You can do it! You can do it!